Hello and welcome to Candidates Forum 2021. I'm your host, Ed Miller, and with me is Mayor Robert Sullivan, who is running for re-election. Mayor Sullivan, how are you doing today?
Good to see you, Ed. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
No problem. Well, tell us a little bit about yourself and about the 2 years that you have been mayor, and tell us why you'd be a good choice for re-election.
Yeah, no, thank you. Thank you again for having me on. So my name is Bob Sullivan, born and raised here in the city of Brockton. I grew up in Ward 2. My wife, Maria, and I live in Ward 1. Maria Louise Sullivan, she was a Brocktonian as well. I graduated from Brockton High in '88. She got out in '89, and you know, Brockton's home. I'm fortunate to have my parents still alive here, still living in the house that I grew up on Wellington Street, and my in-laws are living down in Ward 4. So Brockton is a special place, and I served 14 years as a councillor at large, serving the whole entire city. Out of those 14 years, Ed, 5 of those I served as the council president. So I served as the acting mayor at times when the mayor was outside of the Commonwealth. But I did run for mayor. We had a very great election 2 years ago, and I was fortunate to prevail. And I'm very thankful. I'm humbled, quite honestly, and it's a difficult job. But when you throw a worldwide pandemic into the mix, it's been really challenging. But what I've always done is I've tried to get people to work in collaboration. Right? We have to work together. I keep saying this: we're better together. Brockton is a special place. The biggest asset of the people in Brockton. So, being the mayor is an important job. Working to bring private and public communities together to fight a worldwide pandemic is something that has been daunting, but we've done it exceptionally well. People say, Bob, why are you running again? You know, you should just call it a day. It's been really grueling, and you know, the mission needs to continue. You know, we are creating a building block for success in Brockton, and my title is mayor, right? That's an honor and a privilege, but I'm just Bob from Brockton, and I know how wonderful Brockton is, but I know we can even do better, and we will do better. So I'm running again, and I'm on the ballot for November 2nd, and again, I'm interested to talk to you today about different things that have been done, but I hope people will consider me. I'll be #1 on the ballot, but I'm always #1 for Brockton as well.
What are some of the recommendations that you have moving forward after the election?
Well, the #1 thing is the Delta variant, and the breakthrough cases are real. So COVID is not gone. As I sit here now, we have lost 445 residents to the deadly virus, 16,000 cases. So I was able to, again, get community partners together, right? Get Brockton Neighborhood Health Center and Brockton Hospital Signature, Good Samaritan Hospital, and the VA Hospital working together with Father Bills and High Point. Did 3 times a week calls with those, with the banking institutions, with the clergy. I continue to speak to the clergy and pastors twice a week. My vision right now is to continue to work with the medical clinicians. I think one of the best things I did was to hire Dr. Rick Herman, MD, medical consultant. He used to be the chief of ER at Brockton, and Good Sam. And Dr. Eno Montesir, who heads up our Board of Health, and Linda Cahill, who heads up our school nurses. We need to continue to work together, Ed, to have a healthy, safe community. But we also have to multitask, and as a mayor, I've done that. I did not pause construction in the city of Brockton. A lot of mayors throughout Massachusetts did. They just halted it. I said, we can't. That truck is running down the street. We need to continue to do it. And I want to thank previous mayors. The late Mayor Bill Carpenter really had some really wonderful things in place, and then Mayor Rodriguez came in. But you know, what I'm saying right now is Brockton needs to have economic, thriving community, helps our tax base. So take care of the businesses that are here, which I've done. I've given some business assistance through the BRA, the Brockton Redevelopment Authority, but also attract new businesses. And one thing I'm really proud is Hollywood, the West Coast, sees Brockton on the map. So we had an AMC series filming here, right? We had Netflix. We have 2 more biopic, one on Whitney Houston and one on the Boston Strangler, going to be filming in Brockton. Brings money, but it brings people, and people going to the restaurants and going to the stores and getting gas. So, you know, we need to continue to multitask, and that's why I'm running for mayor. I love this city, but I also want everybody in this city, every Brockton resident, every Brockton business to have a voice, and we need to continue that effort, Ed.
Okay. Well, thank you. And one of the biggest issues that we've been having, and I've talked about it on my show, is small business owners are having problems navigating themselves through City Hall. I think years and years ago, probably both of us were in shorts, but they had someone who would help people go through and go through all the departments. And we kind of lost that again decades ago. But they expressed their frustration on, you know, the length of time and trying to deal with the departments and getting the permits that they need. One construction person told me that if it takes days somewhere else to get the permit, it takes weeks here. And if it takes weeks, it takes months here. which slows them down, which means they're not working and they don't have all the jobs. What are some of the ideas that you have to make the process quicker and more attractive to outside business?
First of all, what I have done as mayor, I've been multitasking, as I said. And what I said when I took the oath of office January 6, 2020, before pandemic, before COVID-19, was we need to be much more business friendly, right? We need to be attracting businesses to Brockton. So utilizing best practices with technology, online permitting, right? Transparency, welcoming business here, making sure that businesses feel that they have a voice, but they can also streamline the process, one-stop shopping. So, you know, it's great to say we want businesses here, which we do. We want to bring new ones, but we want to take care of the businesses that are here already, Ed. So one thing I've done is I've fostered a really good working relationship with the BRA. I created an initiative called Open for Brockton, Open for Business. Open for Business. Adelsa Mendez, Attorney Mendez, works for the BRA. She's been the business liaison that I've been working with. We've done these pop-up, one we did at the Perfect Place, one we just did at the Westgate Mall in Luanda, talking to businesses saying, hey, this is what we need to do, how do we get there? The Brockton app is something that my office just generated. The Brockton app, 2,000 businesses in Brockton can do free marketing with the Brockton app. It's Brockton MA City of Champions app. You download it with Apple or Android. But at the end of the day, what I really feel right now is that we're all in this together, right? So if you're a business and you feel like, you know, somebody didn't treat you well or you need assistance, call the office. It's easy, the mayor's office, 508-580-7123. I have dedicated people in my office that are helping all the time, constituent services director, engagement, public relations, public policy. So, you know, I want more businesses to flourish in Brockton, right? The Brockton Beer Company is a good example. I've been a cheerleader for that, not because it would be the first minority-owned brew pub in the Commonwealth, but because it's going to be a catalyst for downtown. And if you think back about 12 years ago when I was a city councilor, I was the one that drafted an ordinance. It was Chapter 40R, smart growth zoning. So I want businesses to come here, but I also want to take care of the ones that are here. And the only way we can do that right now is to have open conversation, educate and inform. I do a newsletter every week, internal, and I do one quarterly, external. And I'm really excited because we do it in multiple languages, right? It's English, Spanish, Cape Verdean Creole, Haitian Creole. And, you know, I've met with so many businesses and also a lot of developers. Because Brockton's on the map right now, transit-oriented, right? 35 minutes to get into South Station, Ed. You know, Montello, downtown, Campello. So a lot of housing's being developed right now, which is good for our tax base, but we need amenities. And so one thing I did is I created an internship program with Harvard Kennedy School and MIT. They first came here, a bunch of students came here during COVID, Ed, to do a safe street analysis, right? It was awesome. We need to make sure we minimize pedestrian accidents and fatalities in Brockton. That's a fact. But another thing is, what are the amenities that are here in Brockton that we can champion, and what's lacking, right? And we need to continue to figure that process out.
Okay. And now we need you to put on your chairmanship of the school board.
Yes.
Okay. Since at the height, nearly a decade ago, Brockton was closing the achievement gap and having an education system envied throughout the country in other cities. But the report came out that there has been a decline, and this went from 10 years ending in 2018, so it was a little before you came in. But still, 10% of the, 10 of the 21 schools did not pass the standardized testing. What are some of the things that you as mayor, and you, if you win, you will be chairman again, changing that to bring these schools up to speed?
Yeah, well, first of all, I'm a product of the Brockton Public Schools. You know, I graduated from Brockton High. I went to West Junior High. I went to a school called Whitman Elementary School. It's closed. It's on Manamint Street. I walked to school, first grade through sixth grade. As mayor, you chair the school committee. We have 7 great dedicated elected officials on the school committee. Mike Thomas, he was class 87 at Brockton High. I've known him for a long time. He's the superintendent of schools. It's a fact. DESE came back with a really a report that hit home. And as a Brocktonian, we read it and we addressed it. And Commissioner Riley and Brockton Public Schools have entered into an MOU, right? A memorandum of understanding. We also brought back Dr. Susan Zakowitz. Everybody knows Dr. Zak, right? She used to be the principal at Brockton High. She retired, moved to Florida. She came back for the next year. She is the deputy superintendent right now for Brockton, and we need that. But another thing, Ed, we have to remember that the boys and girls, and I have 3 kids of my own, right? 2 of them in the Brockton Public Schools. they were damaged because of COVID. They were not in a normal setting. They missed out on a lot, but they were remote. So what did? We bought $6 million worth of laptops, right? Got reimbursed under the CARES Act. I submitted it, I got it back.
And that goes through the county,
Yeah,
right?
we went through the county. We get $6 million back, but every kid now, we're a one-to-one school district. I also want to thank the state delegation, the 3 reps in the Senate. I've worked diligently with them because the Student Opportunity Act finally came through, right? There was lawsuits, Webby case, McDuffie case, Hancock case. Kids from Brockton say, hey, Brockton's getting shortchanged every year compared to the wealthy communities in Massachusetts. $22 million finally came in it, so we've been able to hire people. But really what we're doing right now is we're doing a deep dive, school by school, principal by principal, and this is Dr. Zach's really charge right now. She's working on that. We do analysis. We had a 4-hour school committee meeting the other night. We need to make sure, Ed, that every kid in Brockton gets an exceptional education. And, you know, it's going to take time, and we're rolling up our sleeves to get the job done. And if I am fortunate enough, and I hope to be, and I'm humbly asking all of you out there to consider voting me on November 2nd, but being a mayor is an awesome job, but being a chairperson of the school committee is just as awesome. We have to have a shared vision for a better Brockton Public Schools, and with Mike Thomas and his team, and on the school side and city side working together, we can achieve that, and we will achieve that.
Okay. Now, a great deal of focus has been revitalizing the city center.
Yep.
What can we do to expand that idea and revitalize areas like the South Side, which I call the Mojave Desert of business and people because it's just not used? The Westgate Mall and the East Side are other areas that could use the same revitalization. What ideas would you have for your next term to start spreading that out?
Yeah, I mean, it's ideas that I've already put in this term. I've been meeting with developers. I just met with Mr. Montilio, George Montilio, yesterday, who's got Montilio's Bakery, you know, up right near the Montello train station. So yeah, the core of the city, downtown Brockton, is the catalyst, right? And we have a lot of people coming in, young professionals, because rent in Brockton is cheaper than Braintree and Quincy and Southie and Dorchester and Charlestown. They're coming to Brockton. We welcome them. A lot of them are taking the train going into Boston. But the downtown is just one area. So we need to go to East Side. We need to go to West Side. Kmart Plaza, that's a great example. A developer from Manhattan met in my office. It was supposed to be an hour meeting. It lasted 3 hours. He has a plan in place right now to revitalize that area. And we're being an advocate for that. It makes sense. I'm working with Susan Nicastro down there in Campello for a development right now. I'm working with Jeff Thompson over near the Massasoit area, right? And all the state reps, State Rep Dubois. So my vision right now is to make sure that Brockton flourishes throughout. You talked about the Westgate Mall. We've seen some great things. I had a guy come in recently to Brockton from Nashville, Tennessee. You know what he said to me, Ed? He was staying at the Holiday Inn. He said to me, you have a Chick-fil-A and a Starbucks? I can't believe that. I never thought Brockton would have that. Little things make a difference. Perception's reality. But really, my vision right now is because I have an MBA, because I have a law degree, I'm going to harness that with skilled people around us and focus on it.
Okay, and the last question, just a quick question. Everybody was talking about having a new public safety complex. Where is that standing as of today?
Yeah,
and will we see it?
It's awesome. It's awesome. So the City Council, thank you, City Councils, we approved it. $98 million bond authorization. So we've been able to take 2 buildings, friendly takings that we paid to buy houses on Highland Street. It's going to be a city block from Highland Street to West Elm Street, where the old high school was. The biggest thing that I said when we did the public hearing and public meeting was that we're not going to move the students and staff from the Keith Center until we find a better place for them. We found that place. We're working through it right now. It's going to happen. Remember, it's not just police. It's not just fire. It's IT and it's BEMA. So it's really going to be a showcase and clean up that whole area. It's going to be awesome.
Well, thank you for coming down today. That's all the time we have. But I'd like to give you a couple of quick minutes so you can talk to your constituents again and say this is the reason why I vote for Bob Sullivan.
Thank you again, Ed. So again, I'm Mayor Robert Sullivan, and I'm asking, first of all, for you to consider going to the polls on November 2nd. They open 7 a.m. They close at 8 p.m. at the polling locations here in the city of Brockton. I am running for mayor again to be your voice at City Hall, to be your cheerleader here in the city, to attract businesses, make sure we have a safe community. And again, it's a daunting task, and I'm running for you. I want to continue to work with you, to work for you. So again, on November 2nd, I ask you please to consider voting Robert Sullivan to re-elect me as mayor of the City of Champions. It's our city, it's our community. Let's continue to work together.
Well, thank you for your time, and thank you for coming down and sharing your views. My name is Ed Miller. And I'd just like to thank everybody who's come down for their interviews. But remember, November 2nd is Election Day, and that's the important, that's when we have the right, it's not a privilege, it's a right to go down and choose who is going to run our city. So everybody, remember that day, please take the time. We have plenty of polls, so you don't have to worry about long lines, and get out and vote. Thank you, and have a great day.